We go when we go, bro. We're going right
You
now.
can't hold us back. You're not my mom.
You can't tell me what to do. So, anyways, back to your boring airplane story. Ryan's out. You started listening. You started watching the newest Transformers. Yeah.
I watched the newest Fast and Furious. Which shout out to two of my homies are in it.
If you say Vin Diesel, I'm leaving because Vin Diesel is no one's homie.
Shout out to Luke Hawx and Tate Fletcher.
Okay.
Who both have like legitimate parts in it, which is dope. And then I started to watch Star Wars.
Can you just take some cocaine or something right now, buddy? We're going to need to turn this up to 11.
I'm turned.
You watched the latest Star Wars, so Last Jedi or Force Awakens?
Force Awakens.
Okay, well, they're all steaming piles of shit, but we could talk about that in a second. Welcome to the world's worst podcast, a.k.a. the Mama's Boys. We're back in beautiful New York. We have 4 gentlemen inside this Airbnb, 2 beds, and that's what's going down.
2 bathrooms.
That's an important detail.
2
Mike,
couches.
why did you adamantly refuse anyone else being in your bed? Like I asked 2 of our other guys, else he said, no problem, bro. I asked Ryan, he said, hell yeah, man, you want to bunk up on the couch? I said, hey, Mike, like obviously there's only 2 beds. We're poor, we're out here hustling. It's Manhattan, it costs $500 a night. We might have to do flex shows to raise money for this Airbnb. And
or
you
guys
said, no
buy
way.
our merch.
or the merch, the mythical merch that's out, the Mama's Boys merch.
So I'll give you the shirt off my back. I'll give you the sandwich in my hand. I don't need my food. I'll give you all the water. I'll go a week with no water. But
You'll be dead, but go on.
One thing that a week without water, I think I could do it.
We need
Ryan,
can you fact check that information, please, son? How long can you go with that water? Well, it depends. Like if you let's say you're eating food that has a high water content, then yeah, you could live for a lot longer.
Forever.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know about that, but go on.
With modern science, I don't see why not.
Well, Steve Jobs, R.I.P., thought he could only eat apples when he was younger, and then obviously he got hospitalized.
Some of these folks are taking the blood of younglings and putting it in their body.
Are you talking about vampires? Because I think we just call them vampires.
Kind of.
Okay.
Rich folk are taking the blood of young folk.
Is this a conspiracy?
No, this is 100%
Have you been listening
serious.
to Alex Jones? Like, why do I feel you're going to say this?
This is 100% real.
Psychic vampires. Go on. All right. This is the juiciest thing you've said so far.
But all I was going to get to was that I need my sleep.
Yeah.
Anything else, I can give up food. I don't get hangry. I could give up water. I can give up this and that. I need my sleep for me to be a happy boy.
Right.
That's why I'm drinking water out of a wine glass.
Because you're just fancy. Okay, so I understand.
So
You'll give the love off your back. You'll give the shirt off your back.
All that. Yeah, I'll go with no heater, no AC, no this and that. But I need, we talked about it last night. I need 10 hours of sleep.
Ryan, fact check me. It's a week.
A week without water.
So I said you'd be dead after a week.
So a week I'd be struggling.
So I'm right. Okay, cool. Let's go on. There's a lot of things we could talk about. This is the first time we're reunited in about 6 weeks. We do this where we meet up. I felt the connection immediately when I saw you again. I do want to hear your opinion. I know the internet kind of has been enraged by the latest, or a portion of it, by the latest Star Wars. I have, I think, a little bit of a different take. I want to hear your opinion. We both really like Star Wars. I'm a big fan of the original trilogy, obviously, in particular, Empire Strikes Back. I also think, I'm just going to go flat out and say it, nothing in the latest 2 Star Wars movies, and I should say spoiler alert, but then again, guys, you've had 2 months to watch them. Yeah. At this point, it's a new release. Like, if you haven't watched it, this is on your own end. You should just click right off.
I forgot who I was with. Maybe Nadeem, and we totally spoiled it for Connor.
Yeah.
And I forgot that he hadn't seen it. He told me over and over, he's like, bro, like, let's go see it again. I was like, oh, I'll see it again. And he hadn't seen it. And then we said something. I forgot who, like Luke dies or something. And he turns around. He's what? Like, yeah, so funny. But yeah, 2 months, it's not a spoiler anymore.
Yeah, so I was going to say that just if we go by one scene, nothing gets me more hyped if we talk about the prequels versus the new films than when Darth fucking Maul comes to the planet Naboo and lights up a double lightsaber.
But you don't
a dual blade.
I thought you said you only like the original 3.
I do. I think the prequels have obviously so many flaws.
Yeah.
But at least they actually, if you look at the overarching plot line, like the downfall of Anakin Skywalker,
it's amazing.
The tragedy, it makes sense. He just couldn't handle it. He's not good at directing actors. A lot of other things.
No, the actor was bad too.
Yeah, but at least there was a story.
I agree.
And I was going to say, Duel of the Fates, Darth Maul, when he lights up that double-edged lightsaber, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, nothing gets me more hyped. Nothing in the latest 2 Star Wars even comes close. That feeling where, the hair on the back of your neck stands up.
So.
That was a big sigh.
what I want to start with is that I am a true Star Wars fan.
What does that even mean?
That means
have you read the expanded universe books?
No, because those. Okay. But what I mean, that doesn't mean
you're like, okay.
No, that doesn't mean I'm the most knowledgeable Star Wars person. I said I'm a Star Wars fan.
Okay.
And what that means is, if you're here in New York and you're a New York Knicks fan, you're not just going to like them when they're winning championships.
Sure.
So I'm not just. They could have put out almost anything in the Star Wars world, and I probably would have liked it. I enjoyed the movies. Now, are there flaws?
That sounds to me like belonging to a cult, bro. Because I always like to be a critical thinker.
That's
because if I love something, I want to recognize what I love about it.
Then you're not a fanatic.
Okay.
Then you're not a fanatic.
I am a fanatic for nothing.
Yeah, that's fine. I like Star Wars. I like the characters. I like the world. I like.
Who's your favorite character, actually?
Probably Yoda.
Okay.
Probably Yoda.
Yeah.
I like a Darth Maul. I like a Darth Vader here and there. I like a Chewbacca. I like a R2.
Chewbacca.
I like a R2.
Yeah. Why did they have to replace R2-D2 with what's his name, BB-08 or BB-8?
Yeah, he's all right. So there's clear flaws in many instances with these two new ones. But the issue is you're making a movie 40 years after, 30 years after the original, right? So there's always going to be issues. Even a movie nowadays can't even make a normal sequel and it be good, let alone 9 movies.
Oh, yeah.
That are
no,
decent.
I think they did, bro. It's called Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah. You know what I mean, though? Like, people just can't even that. I can't even think of an example, but.
Oh, I hear what you're saying, Mike. I think one of the concerns is, and what was disappointing, is that for those that bought into Force Awakens, and I didn't, because quite honestly, with J.J. Abrams, I know he always introduces things and they never resolve themselves in later editions. So Lost is a prime example of this. And so it's like, who's Rey's parents? Who's Snoke? The lightsaber, where did it come from? What has Luke, been doing this whole time? There's a lot of unanswered questions in Force Awakens. And then Rian Johnson, the next director, it's quite clear they don't have a plot for this new trilogy, and that's what's hurting it the most. I'm actually going to go so far as to say that I did enjoy Last Jedi more than Force Awakens, but I didn't enjoy Force Awakens. I would give it like a 5 out of 10. Let's say if I'm being really kind, and I give Last Jedi a 5.5, only because my man Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, finally I thought got to show that he does in fact have acting chops. I think also that idea that he had become jaded over time, I see a lot of people complaining about several things. That could have worked. It's all in the direction, the pacing, the editing, the story development, characters. And so, it doesn't come together. I also think they missed an incredible opportunity if they really wanted to be edgy and different, because then we found out, that Finn's just like a token character, where in the first one he holds a lightsaber. It's like, oh, that's so cool. And then we find out he's a janitor. No one's relevant except Rey. And then Kylo Ren, they have kind of that moment. It reminded me of like an 80s teen comedy where they're connecting together. After he just kills Snoke, which, let's face it, honestly, Snoke wasn't an interesting character. So again, I can see some of the points. But anyways, after he kills him and he's like, come with me, they should have became you familiar with what they call Grey Jedi, where he said, let's do away with the First Order. It's like, this could have been something different. And then in the end, because he is the last of the Skywalkers, they're clearly not going to kill him. They'll probably marry, have kids, and like another, trilogy will start. Just start something new. But basically what they did, they killed Han Solo in the first one, right? Because he didn't want to be part of it. It was a weak death. You had the coolest smuggler of all time go out like a chump change motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to replace him with Poe and whatever. No. Like I said, there are tons of flaws, but if you just take it as is, I liked it. Fucking, there's corny bits, right?
I remember your Instagram post did say I thought it was a 7 out of 10, if I remember correctly, when you first saw it. So have you changed that opinion?
No.
Because I thought that was surprising for you. I thought you were going to give it like, like an 8 or...
So I am a fan, doesn't mean I'm blind.
Right.
It doesn't mean I follow dumbly cult-like, sir. But...
Sir, I object to that statement.
Like Poe or whatever, like you said, Poe's kind of cool, Finn's kind of whatever. I was just watched the first half hour again of Force Awakens, and you're right, the first half hour, they make Finn dope. Right, the blood on his helmet. He kind of wakes up from like
he's literally the only stormtrooper to ever defect. It seems like that is canon within the movie. So that's cool.
He wakes up from like a zombie mode of mind, whatever. Because,
what do they do? It's never been fully explained. Like, how do they control these soldiers?
Right. The thing with Star Wars in general is not. I know you're talking about Abrams leaving things open-ended, but Star Wars is open-ended. If you just saw the original 3 before episode 1, 2, 3, there's so many open ends. You don't know who the fuck Han Solo is. You don't know who the fuck Leia is. You don't really know about their dad. You know, his dad kind of turned bad or whatever, right? Like you don't. Yoda pops up out of nowhere and they talk about a Jedi Order, but it's this goofy puppet in a.
But they create a world with so little, and I think that's what made the original trilogy so amazing for the imagination. Is that he hinted, like even in the first movie, A New Hope, when Ben Kenobi says, like, "Yeah, I knew your father. I fought alongside him in the Clone Wars." You're like, "What the fuck is the Clone Wars?"
Yeah.
Whereas, like,
I'm just saying that's super open ended.
Yeah.
Like unless you watch a cartoon or read a book or see the new ones, you have no idea. Like that, to most people, the clone that scene right there goes over their head and they just forget about it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
What I was going to say, Mike, I think it's kind of the M. Night Shyamalan style, though, where we say, like, J.J. Abrams, I would put in a similar category where it's kind of, well, it's like, you wouldn't believe what's going to happen next. And then the payoff, so they'll create a mystery for you, and then the eventual payoff is never worth it, rather than keeping it more open-ended and thus open to interpretation. It's like, well, what did the Jedi do for thousands of years? What did the Sith do? How did this come about? We don't have these answers, but they're intriguing, and we'll leave them mysteries rather than creating these new small mysteries and then not really either solving them, or when we solve them, it's just like, well, we held out for it way too long that it's not even worth it. It's kind of like waiting for something you've wanted so long, and you build such high expectations that when it delivers, you're like, oh, whatever.
I think because there's so many open ends and so many mysteries in Star Wars, they couldn't explain it all in a good way, even if they tried to. Right? Like even Finn is a thing, right? Because at some point they went from clones to normal humans.
Yeah, like how did that come about?
When and how?
My favorite though, there's many moments. I gotta say Benicio what's his name? Benicio del Toro? No. Yeah,
Del Toro,
right. Yeah, where he was in Last Jedi. He was too real for that movie, where they try to do that heavy-handed. Like Lucas did some heavy-handed political statements in the prequels. But then when they did the idea that it's like, well, these capitalists, they're selling both to the First Order and also to the rebellion. See, like, what's really bad? Stupid. But Benicio, he acted too well, I thought, for The Last Jedi, where he made it seem like the universe wasn't real because he had too much complexity to his character.
Yeah.
And everyone else just seemed very black and white. My favorite, though, Mike, must have been, I think it was Canto Bright. It's called the casino, which was just a dog shit scene.
Yeah.
Where they free, so there's alien and human slaves, and then there's animal slaves. And then when Finn escapes with Rose, they free the animals and they don't free the kids.
Yeah, the kids are staying.
They just leave them.
But they could have taken them because the kids are like open the door for them.
Yeah. So that's like, it's like, fuck you kids.
Although that was a bullshit scene in general and almost not necessary. And I read a bunch of the blogs and people hated that. Like, oh, it looks like they wanted to fill out an hour, so they plugged that in there. Yeah. That's how some of the other Star Wars are, if people look back. There are scenes that, like you said, they build a universe even though they don't have a place in the story.
I definitely think people have, so I see all sides, where I watched actually the originals again recently, and to me, Empire still absolutely holds up because it's more character driven. It definitely holds up. New Hope is fun, exciting, it's different. Return of the Jedi, I actually really liked as a kid. There are definitely some flaws. I don't like Han Solo in Return of the Jedi, so I'm not at all trying to say, like, the original trilogy was perfect.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things, the Star Wars universe, where it's so exciting for a variety of different reasons. There are a lot of faults.
Right. That's all I'm saying.
But they overcome them. And this isn't able to overcome all of its faults.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, it is the 9th, right? So how many series ever have done 9 that are even okay? You rated it a 5. That means it's okay. How many?
I mean, that was me being nice. Like,
sure. But name another series that has done 9 movies that have come up.
But should a series have 9 installments?
So I think
in the first place,
the truth is we don't know who wrote what and who directed what.
I don't think they knew who wrote what.
Supposedly George Lucas wrote 9 episodes in college. So
yeah, well, you can look up his loose plot line for episodes 7, 8, 9, and it actually seems intriguing. And also, what I'd say, a lot of people, anyone that's interested, you should just order online. They adapted it into a graphic novel called The Star Wars, which is Lucas's original vision for the Star Wars universe. It went through many revisions. People think like, oh, like Luke Skywalker. I think he was called Luke Starkiller. I also believe he was a combination of himself and Han Solo was one character. But besides that, Return of the Jedi as an example, up until when it was released and when they're filming it, they were still undecided if Leia was going to be Luke's sister.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's tons of that.
So it wasn't a concrete this definitely happens. This.
Well, I'm just saying, same thing in the 7, 8, 9. We don't know if it's Abrams. We don't know if it's.
I'm just saying that I'm not even excited for 9.
I am just because I'm a Star Wars fan, and these entertaining me. And it's the same thing. Like people I know hate on the Force Awakens who are like, oh, another starship or whatever. Like, yeah, that happened in 1, 2, and 3 also. The point is that the faults that lie in the original 3 are similar faults that lie in these new ones.
And I guess maybe people's frustration, last thing about Star Wars, because people's like, man, you fucking nerds, you got to go beyond Star Wars, would be that if we've had 40 years since the original series or since the original first movie, hopefully we would learn by that time, or all the things maybe that Lucas made the mistakes in the latest prequels. It's like, okay, those are mistakes. Let's not make them again. And so when you make it again and then again for the new ones,
but I don't think it's that black and white when you're making a movie. Even when we're making a YouTube video, like if you and I could make the perfect YouTube video or the perfect podcast every time, obviously we would choose a 10 out of 10. Yeah. But if it was that easy, everyone would be a movie maker.
It has been done before. I think when commercial considerations are your primary factor, which quite frankly for Disney, I think it is, rather than artistic integrity, that's when things happen. I'll give you an example, Mike. Have you watched Blade Runner?
Yeah.
The original. So that's one.
I haven't seen the original.
Actually. So original's top 25 movies all time for me. Just brilliant. Film noir, cyberpunk. Blade Runner 2049 is a different style of movie, but Dennis, the director, did a fantastic job for what it is. And so it does show to me you could take a beloved movie. Blade Runner is, for a certain group of people, just right up there. And the people that love that movie, they saw the latest one, and by and large, they really enjoy it. So I do think you can take a franchise or something that people just, it holds a special place in the heart and do it justice.
Sure.
And I, as a big fan, I'm just disappointed in Star Wars that we're going over the same shit, especially because if you ever played the game Knights of the Old Republic 2,
but I've heard it's amazing.
They create way more complexity in character development when it comes to the Sith, when it comes to the Jedi, than any of the prequels or any of the latest movies. And so that's just disappointing that we saw a glimpse of this beautiful world.
Yeah, I don't know why.
We're still stuck here, bro.
One, I don't know why that game hasn't come out yet again, or a new version on
console.
like
a re-released?
Yeah, what's out? Battlefront? That shit sucks. I played it. It sucks.
Oh, dude, that's a steaming pile of shit. You know what's also a steaming pile of shit? I'm going to take a left turn because I do want to change the topic a little bit. And I want to say, so we had some controversy, and I understand people that sometimes you say an opinion that's not popular. I said fuck crepes, and I still stand by it.
Those guys are idiots. Crepes are stupid.
If I taste a crepe that I enjoy, I will let you know. But I'm here today to give another hard opinion, and I don't know if you're going to agree with me, Mike, or disagree, but I have to say that out of the sodas, ginger ale is by far the worst.
The worst?
The worst. Hey, shut up over there. It's the most plain, boring-ass flavor ever. If you drink it and you're not sick, you electively choose to have, let's say, ginger ale over any other flavor, I don't want to know you.
So for me, ice cream and sodas are kind of the same where...
They're all pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay,
There's not going to be...
Were you given... So here's the first question. Were you given ginger ale when you were sick?
I was sick. Only when I was sick, yeah, for sure. Okay. When I was sick, and for some reason on airplanes.
Yeah. To settle your stomach. Ginger
I don't know.
help settle your stomach.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That was just what my parents gave me. And yeah, for some reason, sodas and ice cream, obviously I don't want just a plain chocolate cone, and I probably don't. But yeah, I don't know. They're about the same.
Meaning that you don't hate. So do you love some more than others, or are they all 8s? You know what I mean?
They're probably all, ice cream. I'm probably more picky about. Sodas, they're almost all 8s. Or 7s.
Yeah, I'm not huge into soda, but I do know, I have that negative association of being sick and being given ginger ale. But also there's different ones. There's, I forget, Canada Dry is one that's terrible. Then Verner's.
Verner's is a little different. Verner's is spicy.
Spicy is what you use? Yeah. I wouldn't use spicy.
Ginger can be like spicy, like a little kick.
Ginger has a different type of kick for sure. Like if you ever have like just ginger by itself, my mom... Yeah, she juices. I'm about to say she juices. Yeah, no, I just said that out loud.
Wow.
She does carrots, apples, celery, ginger. She's just naturally a healthy person. She puts so much ginger. When you take a sip of that thing, it has a major kick. But I personally feel that ginger ale, it's like a watered down flavor. So I could say kind of something similar about Sprite. I don't think it's as bad.
Is that a 7-Up also, or is this Sierra Mist also, or is that purely Sprite?
Right, so I shouldn't pick one company if they choose to endorse us.
No, Pepsi's sponsoring us, so
right, Pepsi. Oh yeah, there we go. What are they paying us? Oh, nothing. Right, okay. I would say that that whole category.
Really?
Yeah.
So all those are 7s to me. I actually just had a diet strawberry 7-Up or something. Strawberry 7-Up. I think so.
That just sounds like sadness as soon as I heard diet.
Maybe cherry?
Cherry. Probably cherry.
I don't fucking know. But that was delicious.
Oh,
I don't know if I've had a version of that in a while. The best invention of all, since we can't cure cancer and all this shit in 2018, the best
they have it and the friggin' psychic vampires, as they say, are keeping it from us.
The best thing we've come up with is the electronic soda machine where you can customize.
No, that's too many options.
I love that.
You like it?
I like the
I've
overload.
seen dumb motherfuckers just there for like 2 minutes, like trying to decide, and the line just gets longer and longer. I'm like, just pick
vanilla,
one, bro.
cherry, strawberry, Sprite.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe let's go with this then. If you disagree with me thinking that ginger ale is absolutely the worst, most abysmal flavor of all time.
So do you actually think it's bad, or do you think what
the association?
Yeah, the association's bad. Because
I think the association is absolutely a factor. I also just think there's not a unique flavor, especially if you try. There's a Jamaican drink called Sorrow where they put some ginger in it, and it has some of that.
So like sarsaparilla?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. I think it's a fancy name for root beer.
If you try ginger beer, like not even the alcoholic one, it's so much better. Yeah, it has a strong, nice ginger kick. It tastes watered down to me. I was going to say, Mike, I want you because I have 2 picks. One you'll probably like.
Yeah.
Underrated sodas. Because I used to play a lot of Sega Genesis and drink a lot of soda in my day.
So, like I said, they're all kind of 7s to me. I do agree with the Werner's for me is the association with being sick. And then there's another difference of, I don't know if it's commercialism winning or capitalism or marketing, but there's certain ones like I just wouldn't buy.
Go on.
Like ginger ale.
Right.
Like I would drink it. If it was in the fridge right now, I'd go grab one and not think twice.
Sure.
But I'm not going to the store and grabbing a 6-pack of it.
Yeah.
Like it's just not in my head to do.
Underrated, bro. If you had I have 2.
I don't. So a squirt?
What?
Buddy.
Sir, what's squirt? A squirt?
Squirt.
Okay, what's the flavor profile?
It's like grapefruit, I believe.
Okay. I do like. I actually like instead of orange juice, often I'll pick up grapefruit juice.
Yeah, I think it's a grapefruit soda. That's delicious and highly underrated.
I'm gonna tell you 2. The first one, Tahiti Treat, bro.
Yeah, see, you're going left field. I don't even know if I know what that is.
Tahiti Treat is the one. It's like a fruit punch with a little extra kick of something. I don't know.
These are all soda, not a juice?
Soda. These are all artificial flavors. So Tahiti Treat would be one that's uncommon because I said underrated, right?
What about Surge?
The second one, I've not had Surge.
Oh my, come on, bro. You know
what? There might be differences in Canada.
I know,
and
but
America.
you're just talking about your Sega Genesis days. Surge was like the highest caffeinated Coca-Cola drink.
Yeah,
it was almost like Mountain Dew.
Yeah, what was the other one? I drank a few of those that had more than.
It was like Surge was like.
Give me a few more though. Do you remember?
I know Surge was the one kind of in my adolescence. That was.
I remember one story of where,
insanely neon, insanely fake, and all the kids are just slamming. It's kind of like Mountain Dew.
I'm trying to remember the one that had way more caffeine than just a simple Coke. I remember my ear being clogged in grade 6, and then just getting that like as like a treat. It's like you could get anything. It was like not Maxell Cola, but the caffeine content. I was fucking buzzing after that.
What I do want to send out to the world, I believe in sending things out to the universe.
Are you gonna say positivity? Because I'm gonna walk out.
Is that I believe there's a Taco Bell celebration around Christmas where they invite VIPs and
you want to go to
Taco
that,
Bell,
bro?
And they have pitchers and wine glasses full of Mountain Dew Blast, and I would just love to sip on that and network and hang out. So if Taco Bell, you want to sponsor us or invite us, I'm in.
I mean,
I don't even need Taco Bell. But
I'll pass. I thought you were going to say something cool about New York, like maybe like the birthplace where jazz is or something like that. No. And you're talking about Taco Bell. I'm talking about Charlie Parker here, and you're talking about drinking Mountain Dew Blast out of a wine glass.
Charlie Parker's not going to invite us to his Christmas party, sadly.
R.I.P. I was going to say that the second one, and I think you know this one, but I have a very positive association because I don't know if you remember, but Italy faced off against Brazil in the World Cup. I lived in an area of Toronto that had a pretty decent Italian-Canadian population. So there's a lot of cafes that my parents would go to. And the drink of choice, the soda, come on, don't fuck this up, bro. You're half Italian. You're about to embarrass yourself. Brio.
Don't know if I've had it.
Okay, everybody right here, I think Mike just exposed himself. Brio is the Italian, I'm going to say, Canadian and American drink of choice. It's a type of orange. I forget the exact name of the orange.
Maybe if I saw the can.
I think it's grown in Italy. And so dude, the can, it says Brio, so just BRIO, and the colors on the can are red, green, and white.
I don't know if that's so fun.
I guarantee New York they have
New York,
sure. Yeah, I'll get you one and you could try it.
I'll try it. I'm down. Underrated. I went on a big kick of is it Torini Italian sodas?
Okay. The ones that are like blood orange. Are you talking saying?
I think it's Torini, isn't it? I think it's Torini syrup, and then you get your own bubbly water and you mix it in. You know,
they have cans of it's some sort of Italian soda drink, and they're basically different citrus fruits.
Oh, so this is different. So Italian soda typically, I think, is your own bubbly water, and they have huge bottles of just the syrup called Torini, and they have like every flavor under the sun, from caramel to chocolate to raspberry, blueberry, whatever. And either I think sometimes it's almost the same stuff they make like ices with.
Yeah, I think Starbucks used to do something similar to that.
So they have a Torini back there. They probably use it in some of their mocha latte, whatever drinks.
Fucking frappuccinos.
Yeah.
Okay. So we talked about soda a little bit. I still hold that opinion, and I got a lot more of them.
I agree with the crepes.
I sound like a hater because I continuously say things I don't like, but I did say two things that I did like those sodas, like Brio and Tahiti Treat.
So just to touch back on the crepes, the biggest argument I received from the internets from you all was that crepes are so different because I want a savory crepe and not a savory pancake, but that's dog shit. Plenty of people put sausage or bacon or something in their
That's not unique to a crepe.
Yeah, you could do that in a pancake too, so fuck you.
You could do it into a lot of different things. Pita, it don't matter, bro. I was going to say I have a quick story to share because it's still, it is January. There are the New Year's resolutioners. Happy New Year's, friends. We're going to talk. It's too late. This episode's being released in March, bro.
Chinese New Year right now?
I'm not sure.
I think it's right now.
If it is, happy Chinese New Year.
Yeah, I think it's right now.
I was going to say that, we are in the fitness industry, you and myself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things we see. I saw something this year. A lot of people trying to make a change, and I think that's positive. I don't think we should ever discourage anyone. You could be starting with, 20 pounds on the bench press. Who gives a shit? Do your thing. Anything that's positive is really important. I actually remember there was somebody that went to a gym 10 years ago that I used to go to when I just first started out. I was like a teenager, didn't know what I was doing. And this guy, I saw him when he first was working out. He kind of looked like the typical person. He didn't know what he was doing. And then I saw him 5 years later, and he looked in way better shape. He was kind of out of shape, and he joined basically in January. So he was a New Year's resolutioner. So never judge anybody.
Yeah,
so before I go on, I should say that. But I saw...
Because you're about to hate.
Well, I trained at two different places in Manhattan. This was a few days ago. There was this gym, and I just saw, and I wonder, it's like the question I had to ask myself is, have we done a good job, like you, myself, in the fitness industry as a whole, or have we just increased the complexity of things? Because I saw this lovely lad. He had a tight Gymshark t-shirt on. He had SBD knee sleeves. He had
use our discount code.
Yeah, use our discount code. Had Addy Power shoes, the whole 9 yards, and he was doing deadlifts in a Smith machine. This is no lie. He was doing it with just like 25s. He was going nuts, like yelling, "Ugh!" And then he slammed it down, which if you know a Smith machine, it
bounces.
It goes super slow. So to throw it down is the only way it would slam down on the ground. And then afterwards, I noticed him flex in the mirror and check himself out.
Yeah.
And I just thought to myself, I'm like, like the SBDs, A, you don't need all that stuff. B, you don't need to be doing that. I understand everyone wants to make a change, but it just kind of made me sad, Mike.
It is a weird two things. One, that's weird because you'd think someone that would know the legitimacy of a SBD knee sleeve would also know the legitimacy of a true squat or deadlift. Yeah. I've come across the same thing in my head. I've gone to the same 24-hour fitness off and on for the last probably over 10 years.
So you see trends and everything, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this was a shock to me because I go to a quote unquote hardcore gym or whatever.
Where real lifters go. Yeah. And so I obviously trained with our homie Alan Thrall and a Team Strength in different places and super training over the years and Barbell Brigade, bunch of legitimate gyms. But
absolutely.
Sometimes this 24-hour fitness is right next to my house and I'll just go.
Absolutely.
And even over the last 10 years, the 24-hour fitness as a company has changed. Now they have an area of turf and 3 quote unquote Olympic lifting platforms with racks
which is
on
so
them.
Different.
Yeah, bumper plates, all that stuff.
And that's positive.
Super positive. And now that I go there and now there's 4 squat racks, sometimes all of them are full.
Yeah.
Again, very positive.
Yeah.
But same situations arise where guys are, and credit to them, they're trying to squat, bench, deadlift, or they're trying to deadlift correctly, but it's just so off. I came across this again at the LA Fit Expo a couple weeks ago. The Barbell Brigade booth, they set up deadlift platforms in front of it.
How many people had bad form?
Well, so they did a competition.
Yeah.
Fine. Guys weren't too bad. But then they also had me go up there and we were taking people from the crowd and just doing form critiques.
Sure.
Awesome. Most guys were pretty legitimate. I'd say 90% of the people that you'd expect to know of Barbell Brigade probably knows of me and you, and they know how to deadlift. But then there's a handful of people that were just so off.
Yeah.
And again, we appreciate everyone trying to get better, but we also appreciate people doing their due diligence to do it properly.
Yeah.
And there's a difference there. There's a difference if you're squatting a little bit high and you're in the process of learning, than you thinking you know things and doing things totally wrong.
Yeah, we're not at all critiquing people for having incorrect form. We've all been there. I'm still working on my form.
Of course.
I think what it is, it made me realize how much more work needs to be done by guys like ourselves, because quite frankly, in the industry as a whole, there's a lot of bullshit. And so a lot of people aren't taking the time, people that have that influence to spread good information. So we think like we're in our own little bubble. And we think like, oh, like, hey, we're making a change. You go to Alan Thrall's gym, it's like, yeah, everybody's squatting, everyone's benching, and everyone's deadlifting with like pretty good form. And then you go to a commercial gym and you see that there's still so much, it represents 0.2% of the entire fitness industry. So we think we're making a change. I think maybe that's what it didn't jade me at all, but I just thought, I'm like, okay, like, you know what? The battle rages on. We're just starting.
It's hard because you and I, although we're not that old, we're in our late 20s, we've been in the industry both for almost 10 years plus individually, that we've already seen so much change.
Yeah.
And we remember 5 years ago when there was only 5 YouTube fitness people.
100%.
Where now there's hundreds of YouTube fitness channels. I can't even name them all. I used to be friends with every single person that did YouTube fitness, and now I can't even name them all. And so that fact, like you said, like there's good information, there's bad information on the internet, but generally, most of the people that put out stuff are at least along the lines of correct stuff.
They're adhering to, because I remember, let's call it the flexible dieting wars.
Yeah.
Ian McPop-Tart, shout out to him, and then the Hodge twins, who I do like the Hodge twins a lot.
We'll get them on here. That'd be funny.
We're just people they've been nothing but friendly to me. I was going to say that, there was that whole debate about flexible dieting was one big thing, and then that kind of changed. But then people take things too far, where it's kind of, once again, like dialectics, I believe they call it, where people are battling two different things. So you'll have people that are super strict bodybuilders that are needlessly restrictive when it comes to their eating, and then you'll have other individuals, then they'll be like, oh, flexible dieting, bro, look how many Pop-Tarts I ate. And the truth lies somewhere in the middle. I think we've made, as a whole, not just, I'm not talking about ourselves, but the community, a lot of positive changes. But then I'm like, you know what? The work ain't done. So,
I agree. And in a city like this, I think it's just cool to see anybody deadlifting and squatting, because
that's true.
It's just such a big city with so many people.
New York is such a big city. Shout out to Murder of Crows in Brooklyn. That's where I trained a few days ago. Legit gym.
Yeah.
I thought, so like LA, let's say as an example, you got Barbell Brigade, Toronto has Ford's Fitness. There is kind of that place to be. And even, someone like Thor, Half Thor, he came to Toronto and he just made a post, need a good gym to train at, where should I go? Even if people don't live in Toronto, they know 80% of the responses said Fortis Fitness. So you have that spot. Does New York have that spot? I don't know.
We're taking you there later today, buddy.
Wow.
Solace is about to be that spot, I feel like. I think they're really on a mission to be that type of spot, because they have such a variety of things, from the Soul Cycle type person to me and you being able to deadlift in the corner and use chalk and not be bothered.
Mike, to wrap up, you know what the theme of this episode has been? Love of the craft or love of money, because it relates seriously to Star Wars. I knew there was a theme.
You had this the whole time.
The whole damn, it was inside my heart, bro.
Who are you?
Because Star Wars, it's that same idea where I think they're pursuing the commercial interest over everything else, trying to maximize. That's why, let's just call an ace an ace. Donnie Yen, who's a fucking gangster, was in, what was the one, not Force Awakens, the one that came out after that?
Rogue One.
Rogue One, where they put him in as a Asian character, not because it's like, oh, yay, diversity, whatever, because they wanted to expand themselves inside the Chinese market, which is rapidly growing. Everything I feel is just too calculated. But there's not enough art inside of it, and thus it brings down the series. The same thing I was just going to say quickly, the fitness industry, people giving a damn, love of the craft, so us trying to make a change. It's like, let's just be perfectly frank. I know people who have gone over to, when we say the dark side, people that are willing to lie about things or become enhanced and then sell their image. Everybody else, you make a lot more money. So basically, it's the pull between trying to stay legit,
true to
yourself, and then basically selling out and making a lot of money. And
there's a fine line within every industry, obviously, but then there's also a big line between commercial blockbuster movies and what we do. You know what I mean? Where you and I, sure, there is opportunity for us to go a different route and to make more money. But they're literally the purpose. That director was hired to make a movie to make money. He wasn't hired.
And I don't think you have to totally neglect all artistic integrity in order to make...
I think you do.
I don't think so.
Because there's so many moving parts.
But Mike, that's implying then that people are essentially dumb, that you need to make something that's so palatable for the masses that it can't have anything of interest on a deeper level.
No, now you're going extremes. It doesn't mean no palatable interest. It doesn't mean none. But it means that there is at least 5 huge corporations with money into this thing, and then another 100 people that have to check it off the list before it ends up in that movie.
Right, yeah, there's a lot of hands that it has to pass through. I totally get that.
Where you and I on YouTube or our businesses or our podcasts literally just check with each other, say yes or no, and then we go on.
What are you talking? A lot of hands are touching us, bro.
Yeah, but that's another subject for another day.
And that is why, to close it out, that is why when we say love of the craft or love of money, we're currently staying 4 boys inside a 2-bedroom Airbnb in lovely Manhattan. I want to thank everyone for listening to this podcast. This has been another edition of Mama's Boys. If you like this podcast, make sure on iTunes to leave us a review. 5 stars. Also, check out, we're going to be having very soon, or maybe right now, I don't know when this episode is being released, Mama's Boys merch, because all you guys have been super, and gals, I got to give a shout out to the ladies.
Yep, we hear you.
You guys have been super positive. Those that like the podcast really like the podcast, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, be sure to follow us on Instagram, Omar Esoff, Mama's Boys Podcast.
Silent Mike
with 2 Ks.
With 2 Ks.
And if you want to communicate with us, I think Twitter is best. Omar is going to get back on. I'm going to yell at him, but Silent Mike with 2 Ks on there, and I think that's a great way for you to send in subjects, questions, potential guests, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Bye.